The five nasty players on the Indiana Fever are undermining Caitlin Clark. To be honest, Caitlin Clark had a lot of attention from the league and was a prime target going into her second season in the WNBA. After a record-breaking rookie season in which he led the league in assists and scored 19.4 points per game, expectations were quite high for 2025. Instead of taking off, the Indiana Fever has continued to be extremely unpredictable. In truth, this roster has a few serious flaws. We're now breaking down the 5 players who ruined the Caitlin Clark era, starting with the most damaging player at number 1. Sydney Coulson comes in 5th. When the Fever signed Sydney Coulson on February 5, 2025, the plan appeared to be simple. Bring in a seasoned player to assist the younger players and keep the locker room in order. On paper, she is that seasoned voice. On the court, though, she's been a ghost. Over the span of 28 games, she has only averaged 2.5 points, 0.8 rebounds, and 2 assists in less than 11 minutes per game. She hardly ever shows up in lineups when things are tight. Her game has slowed to a crawl at 35, and when she does play, she comes across as shy. For a team that relies on rapid cuts, quick ball movement, and agility, her plodding pace destroys momentum. Clark is best served by guards who can make crucial plays, keep a quick tempo, and shoot without hesitation. Coulson hesitates on open shots, dribbles too long, and makes late passes that impede the assault. Despite being a leader off the court, she is squandering game time that young, enthusiastic players could be using. The 4th is Brianna Turner. Even more irritating are the circumstances surrounding Brianna Turner. It's not that she's not doing well. Instead, it's because she was held to such high standards. Turner was known for his perseverance, determination, and ability to block shots. He was once a top defensive player and a first-round pick. This season, that player has not been seen. In 14 games, she has an amazing 0.4 points, 0.9 rebounds, and 0.2 assists per game while shooting just 20% from the field. She hasn't played more than 60 minutes this year. Not only are those numbers low, but they are also historically low for a forward. Turner should take responsibility for the glass, roll hard to the basket, and set up sturdy screens for Clark. Instead, she floats through possessions, hardly challenges defensively, and fails to capitalize on her size. Her body language makes it obvious that she is disengaged, and she rarely uses protective language. For a team that wants to maximize every moment Caitlin is on the court, Turner's minutes have become a waste. 3rd place goes to Kelsey Mitchell. This one is controversial because of Kelsey Mitchell's scoring history. Since entering the league in 2018, she has become the Fever's go-to bucket getter. The previous season, she averaged over 18 points each game. This year, her average is still roughly 16.6. The problem is not the numbers, but the fit. The offensive is now being led by Caitlin Clark. As the ball moves through her hands, the squad should flow off her playmaking. Mitchell, on the other hand, keeps playing like the starting guard by over-dribbling, holding the ball for extended periods of time, and relying on isolated possessions to create rhythm. When Clark has the ball, the Fever's offense hums. As Mitchell takes over, the flow pauses, the rhythm slows, and the spacing becomes smaller. Because of her resistance to adapt, the squad is suffering far more than the box score suggests, leading to a conflict of styles. The tactic is known to the defenders. Make Mitchell slow down, sag off, and take the challenging shots. She can make those shots, but this team hardly ever needs them. The primary problem is this clash of styles. A ball-dominant attacker and a once-in-a-generation creator just don't mesh well. Mitchell is not pleased with the ball. She is not the catch-and-run threat you want next to Clark, and her defense is still below average. When rival guards follow her in switches, Clark is compelled to assume control. She can't take the chance of becoming sick with more work after straining her groin in July. Additionally, there is the upcoming contract drama. As he reaches unrestricted free agency, Mitchell reportedly wants the highest salary. But should Indiana really pay for it? When Caitlin Clark and AIA Boston are your foundation, you build around them. Defenders, sharpshooters, and selfless role players. Although it is no longer proper, Mitchell still aspires to be the alpha. Dyrus Dantis comes in 2nd. When Indiana hired Dyrus Dantis in 2024, the plan became clear. There should be some floor space, difficult paint, and rebounding muscle to keep the offense open. But in 2025, the influence hasn't kept up with the resume. She only averages 5.0 points and 2.4 rebounds per game, while shooting less than 38% from the floor. That is far too low for a forward who is supposed to finish inside and spread the floor. She turns slowly. When things become tough, she completely disappears and has a slow transition defense. Timing is crucial to Clark's strategy. When she drives and breaches the defense, she needs teammates who are ready to fire. Dantis hesitates. In that brief moment of uncertainty, momentum, rhythm, and belonging are all broken. On the defensive end, the situation is the same. In the current WNBA, power forwards who can switch, close out, and protect the rim are highly sought after. Dantis struggles with all three. Clark fills in the gaps created by heavy feet, late closeouts, and quiet communication. She is hardly toxic when it comes to locker room drama. She is poisonous in the passive sense. A veteran keeps minutes while newer, more enthusiastic players watch from the bench. Natasha Howard is up first. The largest burden on Caitlin Clark's system is Natasha Howard. On paper, she was the ideal signing. Former All-Star, three-time WNBA champion, and proven paint presence. In actuality, it has been a slow-motion letdown. Through 2025, Howard will average 11.66 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.4 assists. It appears solid at first, but then you see the repulsive part. She is missing 41% of the floor. For a forward who lives inside the arc, there is a warning sign. Missed bunnies at the rim, short shots clanking off iron, and misted putbacks have all become the norm. Clark's strategy requires forwards who can finish hard at the rim or stretch defenses with a reliable jumper. Howard isn't doing either. When she does manage to get the ball moving, her touch is all over the place. She avoids diving violently during pick and rolls, and she drifts away from the basket. Rather than being the dependable, seasoned presence that she was brought in to be, Clark is under more pressure to carry the momentum and the scoring because of Howard's unpredictability. This is a job that no point guard should have to bear alone. There is a clear defensive decline. Natasha Howard used to be a switch that locked up anyone who defended them, able to quickly rotate, be alert in closeouts, and protect many spots without blinking. But by the age of 32, the explosion is gone. Right now, she's getting beaten on the first step. Her footwork is awkward, and her revolutions happen a beat too late. The guards strike without hesitation as soon as they notice her wearing drop cover. Instead of being a defensive anchor, she is now a defensive target. And in this case, enthusiasm is just as crucial as talent. Observe her nonverbal cues. Slumped shoulders after errors. Reluctant to go back to defense following missed shots, and unresponsive to teammates' big plays. During timeouts, this young Fever squad needs an involved seasoned voice, and she is not that. Rather, she is distant. Compare that to Caitlin Clark, who, despite her injury, never ceases praising her teammates, pointing out inconsistencies, and inspiring the group. It is necessary to convey that degree of urgency. With Howard, it doesn't. The contrast in expectations is enormous. There was no character introduction for Howard. She was expected to collaborate closely with Aaliyah Boston and was among the highest-paid veterans in Indiana. Instead, she has become a barrier. She wastes time that could be used to nurture players like Michaela Onion and Chloe BBBY, where slows down the offense and obstructs space. Players that move purposefully, cut hard, and actually run the floor. Opportunities for change are eliminated by Howard's slow decision-making. Clark will press the ball in pursuit of a convoy or cutter since Howard is too far behind. If she does catch the pass and resets instead of attacking, she removes easy scoring possibilities and allows defenses time to regroup. These half-second delays not only affect material items, but also waste potential. Howard currently represents every problem in this system. Uneven speed, erratic self-assurance, and productivity unworthy of compensation. When Clark drives and kicks, she needs a ready shooter. When she requests a switch, she requires reliable help. When the huddle begins, she wants every voice to be heard. Howard hasn't provided any of it this season. This is a turning point for Indiana. The league's most talked about player has a fever. A substantial fan base driven by rookies, Clark, and Boston's perfect pick-and-roll partner. Companion. If she does catch the pass and resets instead of attacking, she removes easy scoring possibilities and allows defenses time to regroup. These half-second delays not only waste resources, but also potential. Howard currently represents every problem in this system. Erratic speed, erratic self-assurance, and productivity unworthy of compensation. When Clark drives and kicks, she needs a ready shooter. When she requests a switch, she requires reliable help. When the huddle begins, she needs everyone's voices to be heard. Howard has never provided any of it this season. This is a turning point for Indiana. The Fever have the league's most talked about player, a substantial rookie fan base, and Clark and Boston's perfect choice and position mate. But winning is not the same as hype. Making decisions based on logic rather than emotion is necessary to become a contender. If they don't get rid of the dead weight immediately, Indiana could burn through Clark's prime and possibly lose her entirely. The formula is not complicated. Be around athletes who will protect her body, enhance her game intelligence, and keep up with her pace. There are other factors besides talent. It all boils down to knowing your role, putting forth effort, and giving up something for the team. Lexi Hall is safe because of this. She makes an impression without touching, defends as if it were personal, and moves beautifully inside the offensive rhythm. Sophie Cunningham finds herself in a similar situation. She continues, presence, loyalty, and passion, despite not having the most spectacular name or being the team's leading scorer. It wasn't a terrible ejection against Connecticut on March 15th. A message was present. When you see Caitlin, you deal with me. Michaela Onyenwere is still raw, but in just 14 minutes a game, she's scoring in double figures, pounding the boards, and running the floor as if she's trying to earn every second. That is how the Fever must think. Players that can jet down their lane with ease. Chloe BBBY, who is only temporarily here, has also shown promise.